Hey guys, what's up? Pydera here with another tech review. Now, we're not doing a whole bunch of these. Maybe we will. I mean, they are kind of fun. And it's right up my alley. It is something that, I do this for a living. I am an IT professional by trade, if you didn't already know that. But we're today going to be looking at the Steam Deck OLED. So, we got the original Steam Deck around October last year, and we did a review on that guy, and I was blown away with just how cool it was to run emulators and other such things on it. It was a lot of fun to take advantage of my actual Steam library because I really don't do much in the way of PC gaming. I'm predominantly a console player, but this does add a layer of accessibility to the gaming PC platform. I mean, maybe it is Steam specific stuff, but there are some fun things about it that you may not know. So check this video out. We just did another. We just launched a video before this one for the ROG Ally. So if you're like, well, I don't know which one's better. I don't know if I want to go with Linux OS on it or if I want to get Windows. The ROG Ally is basically how Windows would run on this hardware, because actually the hardware between the ROG Ally and the Steam Deck are very similar. Their graphical systems are only one generation apart, and I don't even think it's a full one. I think it's like a half generation. Anyways, let's get into this. Okay, so the Steam Deck OLED is a follow up to the original. Not much has changed in terms of performance based hardware, but we are now getting an OLED screen and a bigger battery. So that's kind of like the biggest two changes that are there, and as well as they are starting to take into consideration that the base model just did not have enough storage. That was my main problem with the base one, and until I got a memory card for it, it was virtually useless to me, and I got more use out of it for emulating until I actually gave it a substantial memory card for storage. So on the OLED, I actually got the limited edition one. So it's not how the base model would be. The base model is a bit less. I think it's only got a 256 gigabyte and it's a non gloss screen, or it is a gloss screen. Limited edition has a see-through shell, the matte screen, and OLED, and the battery, and a terabyte of storage. So I can pretty much load all the games on Steam that I would actually play, and so that part's pretty freaking awesome. So I got mine charging. I had to put it on charge before the video so we could do the preamble and stuff like that. And it took a little bit of time to actually get into getting it into charging and stuff like that. Now, what I can say is it did make me want to actually play Steam PC games. I've played the new RoboCop on it. I've played pixel games. They all look beautiful. I've played emulators. I would say, in terms of usability, right out of the box, it's definitely a step in the right direction. So we've got the ROG Ally, which obviously is more of it's a Windows gaming PC. So it has a bunch of stupid little issues with how do I put this? Resolution, drivers, and other stuff. You don't have to worry about that if you have a base Steam Deck. You can load Windows onto it, and they've actually actively worked with Steam and AMD to provide proper drivers. However, this time around, we won't get too much into that. So it is on. It has powered on. It is at 2%. Let's we're gonna go over very carefully. I don't want to disconnect it from charge. USB Type-C charger. Still, so that doesn't change. But this is the transparent one. This is the limited edition OLED, so you can. It's kind of a thick transparent, so I honestly think some of the mod shells might be a little prettier. But it's got the orange accents, which are pretty cool. Right? And you could do a whole bunch of Steam Decks in the first place. So, alright. Now let's kind of like dive into physical features. So you have buttons down here for mappable. Some of them are actually pre-mapped depending on the game you're playing, just FYI. You have pressure sensitive triggers here, and your shoulder buttons, which are how do they label them? They are done kind of PlayStation style, so R1, R2, L1, R2, left down, right up, left down, right up. Anyways, only the real OGs know. Anyways, so you got your very, very pretty screen. It does look fantastic. I'm going to turn it off for a moment so you can see this is the anti-glare matte screen with scratch resistance. pretty fantastic. It looks great. It never picks up. I have to really use it to with my hand to actually have it pick up. Like I gotta have like oily fingers or something for it to actually pick up. So the main differences between it and the Ally are these touchpads. You can program which one you're actually going to use, but ultimately they are fantastic for games where you want to use a touchpad with your thumbs. And I mean, I don't really like that because it makes them feel like mobile games, and that's why I don't do that. But you got these on each side. You got your two analogs. You've got a D-pad, ABXY, start, select. So it has a simplified controller, so it doesn't have the extra, well, it does have them actually, but they are labeled accordingly. So they have these buttons down here, which are kind of like what the ROG Ally has for the Armory Crate and stuff. So they give you access to like different options in Steam and so on and so forth. I think the storage part being solved is the biggest one for me because now it's like I have everything I want to play on here, not just what I might be able to fit. It has a memory card slot right there. I think it reads up to 2 terabytes, just like the other one. This is an internal. So if you have the 64 gig model, that's not as good of an internal storage. It's like an MMC 64 gig, whereas this is an actual true M2 SSD. So 1 terabyte of that, you are flying, and I mean, just the general vibrancy of everything in this system is just it's excellent. Main differences between its predecessor and it is the screen quality, the battery, and the analog sticks are a little different. So they're more, the center of them is more inset, where on the original Steam Deck it was flat and kind of flush. So the center of it was the same height as the outer edges. So I mean, you didn't have as good of a grip on it. But I mean, honestly, I didn't notice much of a problem because the kind of games I was playing. You've got your 3.5 millimeter jack here, volume controls right here, and then you got your venting, and you got a vent on the back, and then you got your power key. Now, if we dive into this a little bit, like I said, the specs to it are virtually the same as the Ally. So if you've watched the Ally video, it's got Z1 Extreme for the processor APU, capable of handling both your graphical requests and thought requests, so thinking versus graphics. It has 16 gigs of DDR5 RAM as well. And so it's the processor that differs between the two mainly, and the storage. So that ROG Ally comes with 500 right out of the box, and a memory card reader, which mine has a 256 gig memory card in it, as well as the 500 gig. So I dedicate that one to like most of my other games, whereas my like Call of Duty and stuff like that tend to live on the same hard drive. This one's nice though because I haven't needed a memory card because of how much it already has. It's insane. It does come with a case. It does not come with a stand. So whereas with the Ally you get a stand, you don't get a case. With the Deck you get a case and not a stand. So this is the case that comes with the limited edition one. Little storage pocket for your charger and stuff. It comes with a speed charger as well. This is essentially what they ship in with a cardboard box around it. There's like, there's no actual like full-on packaging, so like it's really not opening it. You can't really unbox it. You're just taking it out of the case. So this is what the inside looks like. Steam Deck parts and stuff looks pretty cool. I think that's pretty sick. And it has the Velcro, which I never really had an issue, but what you can do is you put the center down and then you zip up to it on both sides, and there you go. It's extra secure. And they are locking zippers, so if you put a lock on them, you can't open it without a key. Which, I mean, obviously people just rip it or cut it open or something, but risk damaging the system in the process. In terms of what I can play, a lot. I can play a lot. You can jerry-rig in things like the BattleNet launcher and stuff like that. They do work, but it's kind of like if it fails to update or it kicks you out, it has a hard time working after that. Just FYI. The OS itself is Linux. Now, some might not even know this, but like while predominantly the system runs in big picture Steam mode, you can actually switch it to a desktop mode and run it like a computer. And if you're good with Linux, you know how to like do your updates and stuff like that. It's actually pretty cool. So you can dock it and then, you know, open up your browser and do a bunch of stuff. Um, just a moment here. Whatever that is can wait for the next 5-10 minutes. That's about how long it's going to take for us to fully review this bad boy. So yeah, you can switch it to a more traditional OS and run it like a computer. And you know what? The touchpads act as your mouse. You can click down on them with it, or you can use the triggers. It depends what mode you actually set it up in, and it works wonderfully. Let's get into this. So when it loads, so you've got your Steam library. You can see I've got it right there. Hit your Steam button, pop over to your library, and you got access to, it's kind of cool because it's got a way of showing you what's installed, all of your games, which technically, if you have a mouse and keyboard, you could probably play anything in your library. Just be aware of how it may or may not play nice with Linux. So keep an eye on that. You got a list, though, that's really handy that says great on deck, so it points out all the different games that are good for your system and will install and just work. No caveats, no downloaded controller packs or nothing like that. I do not have a ton. Actually, I did install most of my games. So we got like Baldur's Gate 3, we got Hades, we got Doom, Halo Wars, Tetris Effect Connected, Vampire Survivors, RoboCop, Bolt Gun, The Witcher, whole bunch of games. I plays them all just freaking perfect. Excellent games. Now, where I find this thing shines is the emulation. You can emulate out of the box, and I absolutely love it. All you gotta do is get your ROMs on there and then load EmuDeck and then do its setup. And then once it's done, it'll load them into Steam Big Picture, and then you can play it like anything. Like you can play it pretty much ready to play out of the box. You launch the games, they just work. No configuration, because EmuDeck does it all for you. So we go over to collections, and we can actually see I've got, it loads them in like this for you, so you can actually see everything correctly. So I got Game Boy games. Now, cool, just so you know, in case anybody's like anti-piracy, blah, blah, blah. If you've watched my other videos, you know I'm a huge game collector, and I actually own pretty much all of these in hard copy. But, you know, can run every single one of these. And then, obviously, we'll turn it up a little so we have some sound. And it looks fantastic. Auto configures a lot of it for you too. Okay. And then I'm just going to pop out of this because I'm not actually going to play the game. I just wanted to show you like just how easily it loads an emulator game. I didn't have to configure a damn thing. I didn't have to tell it where the ROM was because you can preload all that information and then just, when you want to play them, you're bored, whatever, away you friggin' go. If we pop open, I've been playing Bolt Gun recently it's a Warhammer Doom clone. It is phenomenal. It is a lot of fun, and it's a little repetitive sometimes, but those older games had that, and also it doesn't guide you the same way newer games do. So a lot of times you end up getting lost or something like that, and it really just means explore. You'll find what you're looking for eventually. So we can pop that open. And another caveat to this is, just like the ROG Ally, if you're going to run it on something, if you want to dock it, you can get a dock off of Amazon for like $30. But make sure, and the dock supports it, just so you know, there's a lot of them that do support it. The 4K is necessary initially. If you want to run the game out of the box, has to have the 4K enabled on the TV, or it's gonna give you a blank screen. However, on this device, there is a way to switch it into like a safe mode that'll allow lower resolutions and let you basically play what you're playing, but not in 4K. But playing Pokemon Classic in 4K is pretty freaking cool. Even if it's a bunch of pixels, it's pretty badass. So then... Okay. It's got its little speakers. It's pretty fantastic. So... Like, it's actually great in terms of gameplay. Should be able to see that pretty good. Pink horror. I don't see one. Anyways, that kind of sums up the gaming capabilities. So, like, honestly, it's pretty fantastic. But here's one of the things that I find the most cool about this, and that is desktop mode. So we're switching to desktop. Wait for it to load. Computer. So what some people don't know about these is these are absolutely functional as your more standard computer experience. You can run them in this mode, and that will give you access to running a lot more non-Steam supported games. However, of course, being aware of kind of what that comes with. Again, these come with their case, cleaning cloth, and a speed charger with a little case. I mean, I got the limited edition one, so maybe that's a little different, but it comes with the speed charger and a little pouch that you can put it in, so it's nice and covered and secure and not a bunch of stuff getting on the cable and whatnot. It's fantastic. It's a great little system. I'm trying to figure out all the stuff that I figured out with the other one. I mean, I think I kind of went over specs, that they are extremely similar to the ROG Ally. So 16 gigs RAM, a really good 4 gig APU. Obviously a decent CPU specs as well. What it can't do, I mean, you have problems with other launchers. You can't run them natively. There's janky ways to get them to work, but you mostly can't run them. Once they are, if they fall out of date or something like that and they won't launch, then you can have some problems that way. Overall, it's a pretty fantastic little system. I mean, it comes very usable right out of the box. It doesn't require a lot of caveats like the ROG Ally tends to. It doesn't have a jank-ass ROG kind of armor crate software that you have to contend with, while also trying to contend with the other issues that come with being a PC gamer. So I think if you wanted something that's going to let you game for PC right out of the box and even do some fun emulation, go ahead and get one. I recommend it. I mean, you don't even need to get the limited edition one. You can get one of the smaller ones, and you'll still get a 500 gig SSD in them, or a 256 gig, which, if I had had that right from the get-go on my classic Steam Deck, I think that would have done me a lot better. But this one fixes a lot of the problems that the previous one had. I can definitely safely say that. So if I had to do a rating on this one, I'd probably give it about a 9-ish. Its point, the point that it loses is specifically to that inability to use other launchers. Being a Linux-based OS, they don't play nice with it. So I mean, your game library, unless if you are a if you don't typically use Steam for the most part, you're not gonna have a lot to do on this unless you like the emulation and you're ready to hook that up. Because I mean, Game Boy, PS2, even to an extent. You also have got N64 and Super Nintendo. Like they play like a dream on it, and it configures the controllers and everything for you. So, like I said, I'm going to give this a little bit higher of a mark because out of the box, there's a lot less for you to screw with to get it to work and play the games. If you are buying it for its intended purpose, it's easily a 9. If you were trying to, you can load Windows on it too, but you may have some of the same problems because again, it's AMD. It's an AMD Z1 Extreme, so it's the same APU but one generation older than the ROG Ally. So basically, the drivers are gonna give you the same grief with things like COD and stuff like that. So obviously, you'd also have to license it to do it properly. So it doesn't come pre-licensed or anything like that. Its starter OS is Linux. So if you run it in Steam big picture mode all the time, and you are just almost a through and through Steam gamer, go into the Great on Steam component of the Steam store, as well as obviously in the system itself, and you can actually you can find so many games that are just tweaked for this. Like even Spider-Man 2018, which was remastered for both PS5 and PC. It is a game you can play on this. Same with Spider-Man 2, I'm pretty sure. And also like big RPGs, like you got not so much in the way of like MMOs, but like Dragon Dogma and a bunch of other RPGs are playable on here. So it's a fantastic little system. Take it on the go, play your games, and have fun, and it will do that beautifully. I would say that the ROG, if you put them up against each other directly, ROG just has some more functionality out of the box in terms of like launching the other different launchers, but a Steam Deck, if for simplicity and working right out of the box, easily a 9 out of 10. So I mean, I hope this has been another informative kind of tech review. If there's any questions you guys have, leave them in the comments. We'll definitely be looking to answer them. We always respond to comments as much as we can. So far, I mean, I'm not that big of a YouTuber, so I mean, I'll respond to every single one of you right now. But if we get popular, I don't know. I mean, I'll try not to let that change. It'll still always be me responding. But if you get hundreds of comments a day or something, then it's a little harder. We hope that we can get to that point. By the way, that would be the dream, would be to get that popular. So, thanks for checking it out. You can find me on YouTube, Pydera Space 74, over on Twitch, Pydera_74. Twitch has most of our live streaming stuff right out of the bat. Pretty much all of it goes through there first. And Nintendo and Switch will, Nintendo and PC will be on PC. Pardon me. It'll be on YouTube eventually, but it'll. I'm botching this part of the video. You'd think I would have got botched some of the more technical stuff. No, I'm botching the exit. Anyways, I'm going to start this part over because, anyways. So, thanks for checking out the video. I'm Pydera. You can find me over on YouTube, Pydera Space 74, or here on Twitch, Pydera_74. And if you want to support the channel, definitely like, follow, and subscribe in all the right places, because that's just how you can keep up with our content. But also, we'll be looking at your suggestions, and we want to do stuff that you guys want to see. And right now I'm just winging it because I don't have that much of an audience. If you would like to support the channel, there's a couple different ways you can do that. So if you want some energy drinks and you don't want to necessarily go with Monster or any of the more commercially available, you could order from Dubby.gg. They are an energy drink producer. They give you a premix, and you put it in water, and away you go. It is absolutely fantastic. It's completely shakes free, and if you do use my creator code, Pydera74, you will actually give me 10% of whatever you order. Off the top. Obviously, you don't pay it. They pay it. But in addition to that, you could obviously just use our tip link in the description of the video, and that will support us the most direct way, and that just gives us the money so we can go get games, equipment. We're looking at getting privacy screens and a green screen even. So we have a couple goals that we have in mind for the channel, so we can grow up a little bit more. But I think that kind of does it, guys. So I will see you guys next time. Don't hesitate, like, go check out if you're here first and you're still wanting to see that ROG video, go find the ROG Ally video we did. I think you're gonna love it, and it gives you a really good way to kind of compare the two. We will do something to compare them directly later. Thanks for checking it out, guys. I'm Pidera, as I said before. I will see you guys next time. Like, follow, subscribe. Come on. Hit the frickin' button. Please. Bye-bye.